I mean,
Yeah.
we'll pay them for service
Correct.
performed, not a
Not a-
retainer or.
No, but they will be our representation. And the only thing that's negotiated is that before we ask them to do certain things, we will define what we're asking them to do. And then we'll give that to them. They'll analyze it, give us a cost that they can project that it's gonna cost to do that. And then they'll get back to us with that cost before they start to work on it. And then we'll agree or disagree to pay it. And when we do that, then we'll issue a purchase order to either go forward or not. So I take that as that you're in agreement with it?
Yes.
Item 13 is basically who it is, and I'll get back into what we're gonna ask them. Of course, the first thing to analyze our debt and our tax income situation, and give us advice on if there is gonna be an additional tax, what's achievable in reality and what's not. And, I think that's probably the first thing that needs to come to order. The second thing that we're gonna ask them to do, or need to ask them to do, is to put the bond, the jail or the authority together over the Haskell County Jail and Detention Center, and any other public buildings that we want to put in that courthouse. It's up to you guys. If you want us to do all of it, we will.
Well-
If not, I'm just saying it's an option, but we need to get that authority put in and get it established and get it done right, and that's what they'll do. And then,
On that point there, I mean, I agree with you 100%. We do need them to set up our trust authority. As far as the financial part, I went to Norman to the ATCO conference this weekend, and I talked to 4 different people in the financial world, and they all gave me the same bit of advice. So, I mean, as far as hiring them to do it, spending a lot of money to tell us we need another tax, after being in Norman and talking to numerous people, I don't know if that's a money well spent.
so you're qualified to do that, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying I'm qualified to talk to people. And I've talked to, I
Are
talked to
people-
the
are
underwriters.
people are you talking to qualified?
The underwriters and the lawyers and Nody, but we've had Nody down here, he was one of them, he was at the conference. And I mean, that's just my opinion, Randy. I talked to 4 different financial people, and
Well,
all of them.
here's the thing, that just talking to people and then getting sound advice from somebody that we have time to analyze and look at it is 2 things. Making a judgment call of this magnitude that could or could not fail. We cannot risk that, Paul. We have to have facts of what can be done. And this is the proper way about going about it. Shotgunning it like you're wanting to do.
I'm not
right there.
shotgunning anything.
That's what I'm saying is
No,
that's
that's
not
what
the
you
proper.
said, but I'm not shotgunning anything.
That's not the proper way to do it. The proper way to do it is to analyze it, take some people's advice that know what they're doing, and then make a sound decision on it.
But that's,
Just hearsay and how come, and that's what they think is not really good enough. It doesn't suffice in the business world, and that's what we're in here.
I mean, I agree, we need some good sound advice, but I mean, the 4 different people I talked to.
Well, here
that's a
again,
lot
you'll
of work
have,
around.
you'll have the opportunity to say yay or nay, whether we hire them to do it or we don't, when we ask them to do that. But they are our legal representation, and they know what they're doing. They do 75 or 80% of all the bonds in the state. And they didn't get where they're at by not doing it right.
I don't doubt they can't do their job. We're moving on to item number 14, open discussion of jail committee.
The first thing I had come to order here is that we have requested Bank First to go back and get all the vouchers for all the expenses that went on the jail. we have those. I just got them in the last week. Here's what we agreed to pay for it, signed by Paul Story, and here's their invoice for $175, which was pretty reasonable. And I'm gonna ask Karen, y'all to issue a PO to pay them for that.
So, Paul Stewart, Paul, you made it, I don't know. Is that the-
We agreed in a meeting,
Okay.
we was gonna pay them $50 an hour for their services to pull up this information that we needed. And it looked,
So
and
I'd
that's
say-
$175 fee, and we
So-
all agreed to pay that.
Okay. So I need
So
to.
you just need to get a PO and send it to the bank.
Okay, and I need to give that a body count.
Give that to general,
Yeah,
the general fund.
The next thing on my item is that we take this time to recognize our 2017 debt, which we just got done paying our 2016 without going and tapping the reserve and going into default. That debt, the way this works is the principal bond is $325,000. In 2016, we'll be paying up in October up to $104,612 in interest. And then in April, we'll pay another $104,613 in interest, which would also be the 325 will be due at the same time. So what we're basically looking at is in a year from now, April 1st, we're going to be looking at a need of $465,613. We will have paid already with that and the prepaid interest as we go here in 2016. It's going to be $570,225. So just want everybody to recognize that this is a payment that's going to be due a year from now. We need to start working every day towards figuring out how we're going to get that payment made. And I will have, at our next meeting, I'll have the deficiency or projected deficiency that we're going to be between now and when the tax income's going to be, when it does come due. Anybody have any questions on that? It's a little bit confusing because the interest comes out twice a year and once with the payment. Once you understand, it's pretty simple.
Is this $463,000 total of both times, the interest and the?
No, the total's $570,225 for the year. And due April will be $465,613. And between now and October, Clark will pull out $104,612. Total interest paid on this $325,000, only $209,000.
I'll have to get a bigger room.
Do you know what we average monthly on suspects?
38,000, good at being average.
We go do that.
Yeah, we
Give or
basically,
take, it's 38,000.
it fluctuates, and that's what makes it hard to forecast, but,
But if they stay at 38,000 a month, we're like, I mean, quick numbers, we're like $114,000
No.
is what we'll need.
actually, it's gonna be $224,000 shortage for the year.
If we just stay with that.
16 amount, how much will be?
Is that the half of the, is that the 3/4? 38,000 is the 3/4?
Well, right now, they're funding it with the full half cent.
Okay. And that's 38. That's the 38,000.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Okay.
You never know until sales tax comes in.
Right.
What's gonna be.
Right, but you can kind of gauge it
Yeah.
roughly.
We're just taking an
Okay.
educated guess at it. I did want everybody to be aware of that payment amount and the considerations that we need to take towards having that money available to us in some form or manner when it's due. Right now, we've got about 360 days to figure out how to do that. As far as maintenance, the ice maker that we ordered is in Tulsa. We took a lot of the equipment to our shop. We've been working on it. Some of it we decided it wasn't worth fixing, some of it was worth fixing. To date, we spent $330 on the Hobart mixer. It's a $4,800 item, so it was reasonable to spend $330 on it to repair it. It is up and running, ready to be delivered, and I'll get that back to the jail this afternoon. The ice maker, we're waiting on the credit app to be completed and sent in, or them to acknowledge it, so that we can pick the ice maker up, and I'll pick it up in Tulsa, and we'll install it ourselves. So that's just gonna leave two items that's shortage as far as what was in the kitchen and not working. The other one is a steamer that cost $21,000 to replace. The other one is a tilt kettle that's cost $24,000 to replace. So we're still working on them, trying to figure out what's wrong with it, but we'll accomplish that somehow or another. There's always been a question as to how much money we've been spending on the jail. I've got collected these POs from Karen's office. They total up so far to date, what we spent on the jail is $12,312 out of pocket cash. This comes from the county. And if we look back, that the jail's been operational for 8 years, and we divide that, or times 12 months to a year, that's 96 months. And we come up with a budget of $128.25 a month to do everything that we've done so far. We've used labor, volunteer labor, and we've gotten a lot of labor out of the trustees in the jail. I would recommend that whoever sets these budgets, start looking at everything that we need to be looking at. We have a budget to maintain that facility, and there's going to be replacement costs. The air conditioning systems, the heaters, all the mechanical aspects of that jail have like a 10-year life expectancy. We're into 8 years and we haven't attributed or saved any money to replacement of units that failed. And it's something that we probably ought to be looking at. And it showed you here that we painted everything in the jail, in booking, a lot of it in the front end of the facility. We painted all the pods except 2. We've got, out of 5 of them, we've got all but 2 of them done, and we took all the worst ones and fixed them first. So we took the worst we could get and fixed that. The plumbing's all up and running, pretty much. We still like a few things on that we're working on. But we need to start looking at a maintenance budget to be recognized every month for that facility.
No? Yes.
Well, it'd be nice if you had the money, but like I said, I challenge
Well, Paul,
everyone to be here.
we're talking about $130 a
I'll stop
month.
that.
I'm sitting here, when we do the budget, I'm sure everybody will be here and they can see for themselves. I mean,
Well, what I'm concerned with is it's been in operation for 8 years, there hadn't been a budget done for any of it.
Randy, it's kind of hard to set a budget when there's no money.
Well, how do you know there's not gonna be money? You don't know what's
We
gonna
go
come
over it
in.
every year.
If you don't look at what your costs are gonna be, you're never gonna know what your budget needs to be. That's what I'm saying is I'm giving you an idea, or all of you, an idea of how much it actually costs us to fix that facility. That's peanuts. compared to a $7.5 million facility.
I agree with that, but
The only thing I'm saying is instead of letting our facility deteriorate, we need to keep it up on a continuous basis. We need to be applying a little bit of repair and replacements as we go, instead of letting it all fall down around us and then try and do something at once.
well, our floor's falling in over here in Karen's office and OSU Extension's office. I mean, we're gonna have to deal with that.
Here again, how long's that building been there and how much money's been spent on it?
Well, you spend a little bit of money on
It's the
that a
same thing as
lot.
this courthouse. If you keep it up as you go, it doesn't, the cost is not near as bad. The other thing is, the mindset of everybody that works in here is a heck of a lot better when things aren't falling off the ceiling. And it's the proper way to take care of any type of institution, is you have a maintenance budget and you follow through with it, and you look at the items that are operated. You've got a heating problem here. I mean, that's something that if we've been looking at for the last 10 years, we'd have a remedy for it already. But I'm just saying, we need to start recognizing the maintenance of all these structures. And when you say you don't have any money, if you can't afford $130 a month to keep that jail up, then you're in a lot more trouble than you think.
When we do the budget, I mean, it's black and white.
Well, I know you do the budget, but you're not putting anything in the budget for it. That's what I'm concerned with. It's not even being noted. If the bank payment, the bond payment wasn't even being in the budget, how do you make a payment when you don't even consider it in the budget?
Well, because that money doesn't go into the general fund.
It's not in the budget.
It's not in the budget, it goes straight into the bond payment account, so you can't budget that.
Well, what I'm saying is, it still needs to be recognized all the time. Whether it's in, I don't care if it's in general or where it is, we need to be acknowledging that we have this payment due every year, long before it comes due. We have maintenance to do every day, long before it falls down around us. That's what I'm saying. Anybody's got any comments or disagrees with that, I'm open for discussion. That's a thin price to pay to keep it maintained, and we shouldn't have to do it all at once, we should do it as we go. It's just kind of like greasing a tractor. If you don't grease it, it's gonna break. If you don't take care of it, it's gonna break. Instead of having 300 or 400 items falling down around their heads, we have 1 or 2. The next thing for discussion on the jail is maintenance personnel. Marvin, you've had Leon up there one day every once in a while, or how often?
Yeah, up till last week, he'd been up there a couple of days.
Every week? Is there any problem with keeping him doing that? What I'm trying to establish is a list of mechanical, since we're finally getting things back up like they should be, a list of mechanical failures through the week, and then have the parts and stuff there that when he comes in next week, they're there to fix it.
I've got something else he needs to get, I can. Cause he is working 2 days a week now. But I need to get him up there as much as possible.
Okay. The other thing that I want to talk about again is personnel. Sheriff and I went over the required personnel that's required by state statutes and recommendations, and it makes it understandable why we get so many citations when we get an inspection. If you have 20 inmates or above, you're supposed to have 3 jailers per shift, which turns into 12 people. You're supposed to have 1 person in tower per shift, which turns into 4 people, because they can't work 7 days a week. So when you have to have your off days. And same with the dispatcher. the tower operator and dispatcher, right now, we're sharing the same person doing both of them, and we're not supposed to do that. It's against state statute laws. And then you're supposed to have an administrator. That's a total of 21 people required to run the jail on a skeleton crew, and that's with no relief. That means there's nobody there to take their place when they go on vacation or anything like that. So that's a skeleton crew. And right now, they have 10. And I've asked you guys before, and I understand your situation, that, you know, money's not available, but maybe we need to start looking where we can skinny things up. But, you know, Karen's operating her office with 3 people, and she needs 4. They're operating that jail up there with 10 people, and they need 21. The thing that I'm trying to tell you and explain to you here is that the liability aspects that's going to be levied against this county if some fatality or somebody gets maimed or hurt up there in that facility because there's not enough personnel is going to come down heavy on this county. And it's something that we've got to start taking a look at. If there's a fight breaks out up there on one of the second floor tiers and somebody gets thrown off that thing and they hit their head on concrete and they die, it's going to be our fault. Because we didn't have enough jailers up there to stop it.